Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something really fundamental, human even. It's that drive we all have for belonging.
Right.
But we're not just talking about, joining a club or feeling part of a team. We're going deeper.
Much deeper.
We're diving into the hidden side of acceptance, the
Better.
sort of unspoken calculations. When you're trying to belong, maybe you're new somewhere, a job, a neighborhood, even a whole country. Is there this hidden price you have to pay?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Exactly. So our mission today is to try and uncover that struggle, the toll it takes when you're striving just to be accepted.
Yeah.
And we're using some really powerful stuff to do it. We're getting into excerpts from Albert Hadi's book, Rituals of Belonging.
A really striking title.
It is. And the sources, they make it clear this isn't your typical read. It's not like escapism or something to just look nice on a shelf.
No, definitely not.
It's described more as a story about truth and silence and about the struggles people face that, honestly, we rarely talk about.
And that silence, that's really where the book throws down a challenge, I think.
How so?
Well, Hadi is essentially making us look at the ethics of it all, the cost of fitting in.
Ah.
If belonging is such a basic human need,
Yeah.
then how much of yourself, your history, your culture, maybe even your own truth, how much should you have to kind of shed just to meet the expectations of the group you want to join?
Wow.
That's the real tension here. That's what we're going to be exploring in this deep dive.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's start with this idea the author brings up, the weight of two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
The sources really paint a picture of global movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not as just a simple choice people make. It's framed as a journey built on loss, but also resilience.
Loss and resilience side by side.
There's this one quote that really stands out. It says, "Every immigrant carries pieces of a life left behind. Stories of loss, resilience, and importantly, the hope to begin again."
That hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. Because it changes how you think about starting over. It's not just wiping the slate clean. It's an active thing. You're carrying this stuff with you psychologically.
Exactly.
Okay, so if someone is carrying all this invisible weight, but they look successful on the outside,
Yeah,
then we have to ask, what does the society they've joined demand from them?
exactly. What's the price of entry?
Which leads us perfectly into the next big theme, dignity over distinction. And the source material here is it's really direct. It deliberately tries to break down the labels we stick on people.
Yeah, it does.
It says the people we meet may sound different, look different, or come from places you have never seen. We use words like immigrant, foreigner, newcomer, kind of like shorthand.
Just neat little boxes.
Right, but Hadi is saying look past that filing system. Look at the person.
And this is where we need to connect the dots, I think. The book contrasts the simplicity of those labels with the often catastrophic complexity of the actual lives behind them.
Catastrophic complexity.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, the text points to people shaped by experiences most of us can barely imagine. Hunger, war, violence. The labels sound so neutral, so sterile, but the reality they cover up can be profound, horrific even.
Okay.
And yet, and this is key, what does the text say about how they respond? Despite everything.
It mentions courage, right?
Exactly. Courage. It says they still gather every ounce of courage to start over. So they're not arriving defeated or empty-handed. They're bringing this incredible, proven capacity for survival, for effort.
That context is so important. They've already sacrificed, shown incredible strength just to get here. So what is it they're actually asking for when they arrive?
And this is where it gets really interesting, like you said, because the text makes this really strong point.
Yeah.
They are not asking for favors.
Not asking for favors. Okay, so not charity, not special treatment.
Right.
Then what is the core thing they're seeking? And if it's not favors, why does it seem like there's still a price? Like, why do we sometimes expect people to erase their culture or be silent about their past?
That is the absolute central question Hadi puts to us, the readers. What are they asking for? It's simple. The dignity of being treated as human, no more, no less.
Wow, that sounds incredibly basic, obvious almost.
It sounds basic, but think about it. Does our society consistently grant that dignity? Unconditionally?
Maybe not unconditionally. Often there seem to be strings attached.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where that idea of distinction comes in. We often demand distinction first.
What do you mean by distinction?
Proof. Proof you're worthy. Proof you're loyal. Proof you've assimilated, that you're becoming like us. We want to see that distinction before we grant the dignity.
So you have to prove you fit in before you're treated as fully human.
That's what the book argues often happens. We insist people become like us before they can truly be among us. And Hadi says that insistence on distinction, on proving yourself, that is the source of the hidden cost.
Because?
Because we're essentially forcing a trade. Your cultural identity, your history, traded for acceptance. It turns belonging, which should be about shared humanity, into a kind of transaction.
Right, because Hadi's book isn't just about describing the migrant struggle, is it? It kind of turns the mirror back on the reader, on us.
Absolutely. It shifts the focus.
The book seems to boil down the whole ethical dilemma into two core questions. They sort of echo throughout. The first is, what does it actually take to belong? And the second one, maybe the tougher one, the one that makes you really look at yourself, is how much should someone have to give up just to be accepted?
Well, the book basically turns the mirror on us, you, me, everyone. It asks, what would it actually mean, say, as neighbors, coworkers, or friends, to offer belonging instead of judgment?
Offer belonging instead of judgment. That sounds simple, but I bet it's harder in practice.
Oh, much harder. It's a call for what you might call active inclusion, which is way more demanding than just, passive tolerance.
What's the difference? Tolerance versus active inclusion.
Tolerance is basically live and let live. You don't interfere, you put up with difference. Active inclusion means you actually look for the barriers, maybe barriers you didn't even know were there, and you work to take them down.
Okay, so what might those barriers look like? In everyday life, we're not talking big laws here.
Yeah.
More like the small stuff.
Exactly, the micro interactions. It could be something subtle like maybe feeling slightly annoyed that you have to listen a bit harder to understand someone's accent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or assuming a new neighbor should instantly pick up on all the unspoken rules of the street, even if those rules clash with their own background or traditions.
Or maybe expecting colleagues from different backgrounds to just blend in seamlessly at work, social events, without considering if the environment feels welcoming to them.
Precisely. When we expect those kinds of subtle erasures, those tiny adjustments that require someone to hide or change a part of themselves, Hadi argues we're demanding a price for dignity, and that whole framework is flawed.
Why flawed?
Right.
Because it puts the onus entirely on the newcomer.
Partly, but also because the book insists really powerfully that this isn't just their story, it's not an us and them thing, it's a shared story, which ties back to that universal responsibility.
So if it's our story too, what does that mean for how we build our communities, our workplaces, our future, really?
It means we have to see belonging as systemic. It's part of the structure. If someone feels like they have to hide who they are, their past, their accent, their traditions, just to feel safe or accepted where you work or where you live, that's not an individual failing. That's a sign that the structure itself isn't working right. It's a collective failure. And the source insists right at the end that the only way forward, the only way to build a society that's genuinely strong and resilient is to get this. In the end, the story of belonging isn't just theirs, it's the story of us all.